Hey guys, and welcome. It's been a while since the last made the tier list. People have been asking me a lot about my opinion, and today I'm gonna share you my opinion on the best solo classes. I will do a list for low gear, Squire, and I will also do one list for higher gear endgame fights. And then I will also include a list for trio Squire to riches, cause a lot of people ask me for that specific. I won't be able to do a meta tier list on duos and trios since I just don't play those game modes over the last 5 weeks, and I just feel like I can't talk about something I'm not actively playing. I've really just been grinding solos. You can see that, and that's why I will mainly talk about solos now. There will be timestamps all over the video, so feel free to just skip to any part that you're interested in or you want to see. If you have any questions about anything, feel free, write them in a comment, subscribe to the channel, maybe check me out on Twitch. I'm almost daily live there. Otherwise, go ahead and enjoy the video. Have a good one. So let's go to our first category. Here you can see our marks, GGSTF, oh yeah, Kite, Helna, and back to league. Obviously, GGSTF is the most broken classes, back to league are classes that are feeling not in a good spot right now. Let's stop talking and start right into the first category. We will start with Squire Normal. So what class is the best class for solo play in Squire? We'll start off with Fighter, and in my opinion, Fighter is one of the best classes to play in Squire gear. Why is that? Fighter is a jack of all trades. He can wear plate armor, he can wear cloth armor, he can play Slayer, he can gain hella extra speed out of his perks, he can gain hella damage out of his skills and his perks. He can play almost any weapon, any type of armor. He can get high extra speed and good stats just with perks and weapons in low gear. The perfect class to play in Squire, because he has also access to plate armor, which gives him high PDR, which wins most melee fights by default. Next up, we have my beauty, my love, my beloved Barbarian, and I would put him on oh yeah. People think Barbarian is the strongest Squire class, and I agree that he's like a 1v3 Timmy Slayer, but every time I play Barbarian and Squire, I just want to uninstall the game because it feels so horrible until you play Blood Exchange or War Sacrifice or like Rage or something, I don't know. Class feels so slow and your attacks feel so slow. Even you go full dex, but it still feels slow. I don't know. It hits heavy and it feels strong. It just feelable that you lack like some stats. But we will see. Barbarian goes up in this list soon, really soon. So I think that's a good placement. It's really strong, but it's not as strong as Fighter in my opinion. Just because Barbarian doesn't have access to like a long sword. Next up we have the Rogue, and there's not a lot I can say. I mean, a lot of you probably already played against the Rogue in Squire. What's cool about Rogue is, other than the other classes, you still feel like a movement god even in Squire gear because you're fast and you have double jump and stuff like this. You can open every chest, and it's a really cool and interesting and fun class to play in Squire, but your fighting power is, I don't know, chances of you actually killing someone as a Squire Rogue are slim, really slim if you're not really good. Fighting power is not really existent, but the class is really fun to play in Squire because you feel so mobile and edgy. Next up we have Ranger, and here I can really decide if I want to put it in Helna or back to League, because I feel with every Ranger player, not only that you have to bring your arrows and shit and you have to carry arrows as a burden already, no. The class just sucks in Squire. You do 0 damage, you are slow as hell, you need 10 years to draw your bow even with perks. And even if you hit, then you just 0 damage. Barbarian out hits you with a potion chugger. I don't know, maybe I just suck at Ranger. Maybe I just never see a good Ranger in Squire or anything. But hell no, this class is horrible in Squire. Same that I just said about Ranger applies to Wizard, but he also needs to reset his spell. He's just like Ranger, but instead of True Fist and extra speed, he needs spellcasting speed and true magical damage. And he just doesn't have anything in Normandy. He just doesn't have the spellcasting speed, doesn't have the knowledge, he doesn't have the true magic damage, he lacks everything. He also doesn't have enough spells to just kill anyone. I don't know. Wizard just fits really bad right now, and Squire back to League. Now we come to a class that I find myself a better spot for. GGSTF with Cleric. I think a lot of people didn't expect that one, but Cleric with Divine Protection and Smite. Plate gear just goes full bonkers. You're max PDR, you're dealing hella damage, even though it's not as much as you would stack true again, but still doing hella damage. I don't think there's any class really competing with you. I would probably even put it above fighter. I just think Cleric is the best 1v1 melee class in solo Squire gear. Next up we have Barb, and I don't know, but he's maximum I, probably lower Helena. I don't know. Barb needs really gear to work at all in solos. He just has nothing. He has not enough resourcefulness, not enough knowledge. He's really the definition of jack of all trades, but he needs stats in order to activate those traits, if that makes sense. And then Squire just has nothing. It is a fun class still. It still has this essence of Barb in itself, but it really doesn't work in Squire solos in my opinion. Next up we have Warlock, really fun, really good class in solos, even in Squire. It is not as good because it can't be true enough to deal damage it would in gear, so it really lacks in the physical part as in damage part. But you can like fighter, plate and plate, or on cloth, you can play with magic. It's just really versatile, which makes it so giga fun and strong to play in solos. So it's really not that it's strong in one part in particular, better than any other class, but it's the versatility in this class itself that makes it so good, in my opinion. And then to make this a bit quicker, the last two classes are, in my opinion, the best Squire classes in the game for different reasons, or kind of the same reasons. They both require almost no gear to work good in a baseline. Sorcerer works based off cooldowns, so that doesn't really matter for him. Can deal a lot of damage even without any gear. Sorcerer is probably the best class in Squire gear. It is the Squire class basically. Problem is he's really skill gapped, so you need to be good and smart in order to make this class work. And Druid in bear form just has baseline stats that can stat check anyone, which is kinda ridiculous, and has by far the most mobility, is the most agile character. Even in Squire he doesn't need any gear to use his transforms, so yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory that those both classes are by far the best in Squire solos. Now let's go to the second part of the video, normal lobbies. We're talking about full bist out blue normals right here. And there again, fighter, self-explanatory, GG STF. I think he just does the same he does in Squire, but with stats on top, way better, still GG STF. Barbarian moves up for me. Now he's actually the beast people are talking about. He can get 25% actual speed, over 300 move speed, and he can basically do everything he wants now. I think there's not really another class competing with a full bist out blue gear Barbarian. Focus up to oh yeah, or maybe even GG STF. You can decide for yourself. I would say oh yeah, because Rogue has a really rough time dealing with a bist out Barbarian or bist out fighter right now. Even a bist out Cleric probably, or a Druid, but it's still strong. Out of height he can probably 3 or 4 tap anyone. Blue gear he can actually shine pretty good, because he doesn't require much more than blue gear gives you. Cleric and Millimeter is for me still one of the best melee fighters, but the problem is now people have stats and they can move around your buffs and durations. They can just run away from you, they can kite better. You also will see more casters, more wizards and stuff in your lobbies, which Cleric has a rough time to deal with, so I would still say in melee, when his buffs up, he's probably the strongest melee character, but since people can play way better around you now, it goes down to only oh yeah, but it's still really strong. I'm sorry, but those classes are just all not at the moment. I can say they all improved, and I can already show you like my finalist, how it will look like. You can see like a scheme which I just noticed myself making this video. This is why people love blue gear lobbies, because everything is playable. I can explain to you. Those classes just move up a few tiers because they can go get their stats now. They can get true fist, true magic damage. The reason they are down here is because they're just worse than the other classes and how they work at the moment, especially in solos. And the other classes are up there because of how they work, especially in solos. Nothing really changed, you can see, just because they have damage now, more dexterity, more move speed. That already improves their existing kit, but every class is playable. If you have skill, you can perform with every class, and I think that's why people love blue gear solos that much, because it's what it feels like in game as well. But to say something to the classes and not just leave it like this, as I said, Wizard, for example, can build true magical damage and on spellcasting speed, which makes him playable, but he still dies to all of those classes above here probably, except for Fighter maybe. Ranger, same, he can get true fist and actual speed now, but probably still dies to all of those classes above. Bard can get his stats now, but he can't build enough stats, he just has to build too many, where Barbarian just has to build 2 and runs him down still. Druid is god of the dungeon right now. Sorcerer can build his true magical damage and cooldown reduction and outstomp every class. He can, it's just such a good class. maybe a bit worse than Barbarian. Warlock has an insane kit, and on top of that insane kit, he built damage now. It's so good. Warlock is such a good class. You will see in the HR tier list. That's it. My tier list for solo normals and blue gear, and it's really, you can see, it's kind of like this. It also feels like this in the game. Next up, we come to my probably easiest and most played mode and dungeon, HR solos, which is my hometown. I know everything there, probably. Yeah, I can already say all you see in there is this, and sometimes maybe this, and even this guy sometimes shows up, and this guy dominates us as well. But I will go into it deeper, of course. I'm gonna be honest, I see a lot of parts in the dungeon. That's probably the class I fight the most for some reason. Don't ask me why. Out of the perspective of a Barbarian, I don't know when I lost the last time against him. They just died. I watch Akira's stream often, and I respect him. I think he's the best Bard player in EU at least, and even he has a rough time, so his Bard is not that good, so I think Ida is a deserved spot for Bard. Sorcerer is just a really annoying and rough class to play against on any class, even as a Barbarian, where I'm the counter matchup, or even as a Rogue, where you're the counter matchup as well. Sorcerer just feels like such an annoyance and strong class to play against, and I wouldn't put it in GGS yet. I don't think he's that crazy strong, even when a lot of people think Sorcerer needs to be nerfed to the ground. I think he's in a deserved OE tier. He's really skill capped, and again, but if you are good on Sorcerer, you can perform like a god. I don't see many Clerics. The only Clerics I see in HR are looting Clerics, but I have to admit, every time I see a really geared move speed Smite Cleric as a Barbarian, I have a hard time because that's my exact counter matchup. Overall, I would still put Cleric just in Ide, or maybe oh yeah. It's still, in my opinion, the best melee class, but it just lacks against any class that can kite him. So Cleric probably loses against Warlock, against Druid, against Wizard, against Rogue, against Ranger. I don't know. Maybe he can win against Ranger if he has a good angle, but against any kite class he has a really rough time, but in melee he's still a god. Next up we have Fighter, and Fighter is for me OER behind Sorcerer, or maybe above Sorcerer. You could put him in either place. I think the only thing holding Fighter really back for me is Rogue still being pretty strong with weak point, and Warlocks being disgustingly strong at the moment. Otherwise, I think Fighter's in a really nice spot. Fighter could be up here if those two classes wouldn't be that strong, and Barbarian wouldn't be that good at the moment as well. Otherwise, Fighter fits pretty good. It's just the other classes are so good right now. Yeah, what can I say? I don't know what SCF really think of the Druid buffs. In my opinion, it's the best class. You can see it in the leaderboards, you can see it in my tier list. It's everywhere on top. It's dominating melee, it can dominate casters, it has a silence, it has the best mobility. Bear has insane baseline stats, they even buffed it now. SDF loves this Druid, we all know it. It dominates the leaderboards, it dominates the dungeon, everyone is annoyed of it. I think GG SDF is more than deserved for Druid right here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not biased. Barbarian is right there behind Druid right now. After the Rogue nerfs, I don't feel like anything can really kill me. Besides, and now there is a really good Druid. The Smite Cleric, or sometimes really good Warlocks. They have a rough time as well. Other than that, no SWAT fighters. But other than those matchups, I never feel scared. My class is really easy at the moment. Club is still really strong. Barbarian is in a good spot in solos. Definitely GG STF right there. Then we have Rogue, and Rogue is still GSTF. Oh yeah. I feel like you can really feel the throwing knife nerfs. I'm talking out of a Barbarian perspective. For me, they are okay to handle now. But they didn't really change anything about height, so Rogue is still in this OP state where you can just free-4 tap everyone out of height. I think giving Rogue anything less than the GSTF, just by how much he dominated the last weeks and is still dominating the dungeon, would be undeserved. I think he's worse than Barbarian right now, but still deserved the GSTF. Then we have Ranger again, and Ranger is always hard for me to place. I would say he's Ide at maximum, maybe even worse than Barb, but as soon as I meet a good Ranger, I would at least put him here. But I think Ide is a good spot for Ranger. He's not really in a nice state. I must admit, I barely see Rangers. If not, I don't ever see Rangers, I'll be honest. I see Melanila sometimes, placing 1 million traps, and then I die. But other than that, I'm not really scared of them. They can be really strong. I feel like if you're a good Ranger, but if you're the baseline Ranger just picking up the class in HR, you're probably gonna get wrecked. Class is not really good at the moment. Now we come to Warlock, and Warlock is, in my opinion, that's maybe a crazy take, but one of the best classes in the game right now in High Roller with Druid together. The amount of damage you can deal with your curses plus BOC Chris Dagger, Winston showed it, is insane. You have kite potential, you have melee potential, you have range potential, you have stealth heal. It's insane. I have not played it, I've only seen it, and I almost got one tap by a Chris Dagger BOC on Barbarian with 40% magic resist, 180 HP and this gear. Really crazy class. Pick it up, try it out, it's a lot of fun. Pick up Vincent's guide, just test it out yourself. Now we come to the last part of my video, and instead of ranking all classes in Squire to riches again, which I already basically did in the first part. Basically just showing combos that I think could be S tier in Squire to riches. But I'm not really playing Squire to riches often, I can just go out of pure game knowledge. That might help you. So the first combo I thought about, which could be really good, is Druid, Sorcerer, Bard. The Druid just plays in Bear and Panther form basically on itself with Bard buffs. Same for Sorcerer, doesn't require a lot of gear, both classes. The Bard buffs them up, which makes them even stronger. Bard can play on himself with bow or crossbow as well. Sounds like a really nice combo to me, honestly. Should try that one. Next up is a combo I know that works pretty well because I played it often with friends. Cleric, Fighter, Barbarian. It's pretty self-explanatory and simple. Play Warcry, Savage Roar. Play whatever on Fighter, Smite Divine Protection, and then you just run in and you bonk them. They're all stat checkers, they're all pretty simple. I don't think you have to overthink or overbrain here. That is a really good combo. In a class that is probably rough and hard to play at the moment and requires a lot of skill, but it's always fun for those special range players as Warlock, Ranger, Wizard. It's a really OG combo of annoyance, but if you manage to get this down, you manage to somehow play good as a team together. Oh hell, that's annoying to play against. And of course we have like those basic combos for those who like to roleplay their game a bit, or either playing frontline Barbarian or frontline Fighter, then either take Cleric or Druid as a healer, where I would say Cleric is the way better option and here Barbarian is the better option probably. And then as a third you can either take a Bard as another buff up, or you can take a Wizard as another buff up, or you can even take a Ranger as a range option. I would say this is probably the best option to look for, or this is the best option to look for. But this could also look like this obviously, or like this, or like this even. Those are all really viable combos in my opinion you could play. Basically the definition of buff ball. And in a sub to include all the classes, you can always sneak like a rogue in between everything basically. You play something like this, and exchange the Warlock for this, and just go for a really ready playstyle where the Sorcerer and Ranger do everything and Rogue just protects them. Almost you shouldn't go for combos like this, where you have two frontliners and just a Rogue random sitting around. Or this, where you have two frontliners and the Ranger doesn't know what to do in a fight. Those you should avoid, but other than that, I think those are the perfect combos for you. This is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe, and maybe a comment. See you in the next one. Bye bye.